Kellyanne, good to see you.
Hi.
You know, you look at the history of all this, seems to me to be all politics, great hypocrisy on display. What if somebody that is not vetted is killed in the meantime? What does that mean? Are they willing to gamble with American lives?
Well, this is the president's entire point, Sean. He has a right, he has a responsibility, the authority, and indeed the duty to protect Americans, and that's what he's trying to do here. The statute that you read, the past comments from liberals like President Obama and President Bill Clinton are very closely aligned with what President Trump is trying to do now as our commander-in-chief and president. We find that the particular order coming out of the Seattle judge is overly broad. It's a nationwide injunction. He referenced religion when, in fact, that has nothing to do with the executive order. It's not in there. And the fact is that we don't even know if these states that sued have standing. Individuals have standing, and individuals usually need to show harm and damages.
You know, the other thing is the total dishonesty here. I'm going to put up on the country, on the screen, 43 countries, okay? Majority Muslim countries, representing 90% of the world's Muslims, are not included in the ban, including Indonesia, 258 million Muslims, Egypt, 95 million, Bangladesh, 156 million, Pakistan, 201 million. But the news media keeps saying it's something it's not. That's got to be frustrating when they say it's a litmus test, as Chuck Todd has said, a religious test, or a Muslim ban. What is your reaction to the false reporting?
Well, the reaction is that President Obama himself said that these same 7 countries needed special screening. They weren't just picked out of a hat. They were actually designated by President Obama in the Congress as in need of special screening. They have a tradition, a history of training, harboring, and exporting terrorists, and we've seen that. And there's an article that's not getting much play today that I really want to call to everybody's attention. It's in the Associated Press by Eric Tucker, and he basically fact-checked the judge in Seattle, Judge Robart, and said the judge was incorrect when he said that no one has been arrested for extremism under this kind of...
I pointed that out on my radio show. You're exactly right.
I appreciate that. And it's such an important thing for everybody to note, because the judge from the bench had asked the attorney how many people have actually been arrested under this type of order, and she said, I don't know, and he said, I'll tell you 0, and that's just not true. And I'm sure that everybody can look. It's Eric Tucker, Associated Press. I don't hear the media covering this. This should be the biggest story of the day, especially since they're, he was wrong, but he did it from the bench. All of us are wrong once in a while, Sean, and we apologize and immediately rectify. But this is the judge who then said that issued a nationwide injunction from the bench in Seattle in the 9th Circuit, and was just wrong from the bench in what he said about what this type of extreme vetting would provide or could have prevented had it been in place earlier.
You know, Kellyanne, there are many countries that if you have an Israeli passport, Muslim countries that do not let you in their country just because you have an Israeli passport. I want to put up on the screen and show you something.
That sounds like a religious test.
Yeah, that does sound like a religious test.
This is not.
Democracy Matters, Strategic Plan for Action. This was discovered by the Washington Free Beacon. It involves David Brock, and inside this memo, it has plans for defeating Trump, through impeachment, through government misinformation, the midterm elections, and more importantly, filing lawsuits against the Trump administration. So that's pretty much telling me that they're going to judge shop for the next 4 years to defeat the administration on every agenda item. How do you combat that?
You combat it by doing what the president's already doing, which is showing progress and solutions and forward-moving action on behalf of people, and then they'll get it. They'll see who is against them. They'll see who's actually making a positive difference in their lives. In just the first 2 weeks on the job, this man has boosted wages, created jobs, opened up the pipelines, Dakota Pipeline, Keystone Pipeline, taken us out of TPP, made sure that factories that can stay here and not go to Mexico, or workers going to, or labor going to China, production going to China, that stops. He, of course, has met with manufacturing CEOs. He has reversed corrosive regulations that are hurting small business owners. Yeah. Presidents are judged by their accomplishments over time and the real impact they've had on people. And, Sean, I can't tell you, for all the negativity out there towards the president, towards all of us here at the White House, how many more people across this country write us, text us, email us, call us, stop us wherever you are, and just say, thank you. Thank you for trying to make a difference. Thank you for taking the fire and making a difference. Now, if the professional left wants to continue with this permanent campaign and never actually accept the results, that this is everyone's president and he is trying to do good for everyone, then then people can judge for themselves. I mean, I think the left is not off to a really good start. They sound like a bunch of crybabies. And speaking of hypocrisy, what about all these Democratic senators who voted to confirm Neil Gorsuch to a federal appeals court already 10 years ago? What's changed now, except for politics? So the hypocrisy there, the American people can see that. They can see what these protesters are really saying, what they're really about, and they can judge for themselves. They can protest here at the White House. We're going to make progress.
All right, Kellyanne, great to see you as always. Thank you for taking time. I know you're busy every day.